Jeff Bezos became a mythical figure in the business world long before he surpassed Bill Gates and became the richest person on Earth. From humble beginnings, Bezos built the largest business company in human history, Amazon, but years before his net worth exceeded $200 billion, Bezos had a fairly complicated life path. Before analyzing the construction of the world's largest e-commerce, let us take a step back and walk through what was its troubled childhood. Troubled childhood. Jeffrey Bezos was born to two very young parents, his father 18 while his mother was only 17. The two together ran a bicycle store. The Amazon founder's childhood began to be very complicated as his father was very distracted and drank heavily. After a couple of years, his mother filed for divorce and went to live with her parents along with Jeff Bezos. 3 years later, after separating from the billionaire's biological father, the woman married a Cuban immigrant, Miguel Bezos. The Amazon chief's first surname was Jorgensen, but after a couple of court cases the surname was changed to Bezos. The estrangement from his father changed his life considerably. In fact, in a 1999 interview he said, "I never met my father, and I never lived with him. The only time I think about it is when they ask me to fill out a form." What happened to the father? Jorgensen received many interviews from the press asking him if he knew that his son is a very important businessman. He replied that he knew nothing, and to the statements about him being the father of billionaire, Jorgensen replied in bewilderment and disbelief. After that bad behavior, he stopped drinking and worked hard for his bicycle store. He married again but had no more children. The estrangement from his father did not make Bezos' life path sad and tumultuous. He in fact had some wonderful times with his mother, and with some Twitter messages over time showed all his affection. An enterprising Jeff Bezos. Jeff Bezos was industrious from an early age, working on his grandparents' farm, helping relatives at windmills, vaccinating cattle, and doing other chores. From an early age, Jack showed great mechanical aptitude, disassembling and reassembling anything. In his mid-teens he began to become interested in science and mechanizing anything. His family moved to Miami in Florida, and from there he began to fall in love with computers. In college he was really good at it. He wanted to study to learn this very craft. He graduated with honors and started attending college. His dream was to study physics, but he soon realized truly his love for computers was too important and pursued a degree in electrical engineering. He began working for a company where he would help build a computer network for international finance. Jeff's career begins. From here the real climb of his career began. His talent was rewarded, and soon he began working in the stock market. His earnings were very high, but paltry compared to his current income. He could have continued to make a living in that field, but in 1994 Bezos discovered that the web went up 200.300% in a single year, and this number completely turned his life around. He decided to find a way to take advantage of the rapid growth of the internet and made a list of the best 20 products he could sell online. The best choice was ebooks, hence Amazon.com was born. The name comes from the Amazon River forest because it is massive, monolithic, and powerful. All the qualities he wanted his business to have. Amazon's takeoff. Like all fledgling companies, Amazon could fail at any moment, which is why there were few investors willing to spend high capital to support Bezos' business. Although Amazon originally was an online bookstore, Bezos always wanted to expand to other products. He was convinced that the web would overcome competition from larger booksellers such as Borders and Barnes. In the stock market, Amazon soared, surpassing major competitors. Before the new millennium, 6% of Amazon's investors became billionaires, and no crisis could stop the startup. In 1998, new products such as music, videos, and various consumer goods were sold. Not everything went smoothly though. In 2002, Amazon's rapid spending caused several financial difficulties when revenues remained stagnant. The company was doing quite badly and almost went bankrupt. Many distribution centers were closed, and 14% of employees were laid off. In 2003, the near bankruptcy became just a bad memory, and Amazon rebounded from financial instability and made a $400 million profit. Bezos was very demanding of his employees. He was very strict and wanted to know everything about them, but it was worth it. So he built a real money machine. Amazon today. Amazon has climbed any ranking and has become the largest e-commerce in history. Its value is around the $1 trillion mark and shows no significant declines. Jeff Bezos currently has a net worth of around $137.2 billion. Here we have the perfect example in favor that school is not necessarily for getting rich. By attending classes, Jeff has learned a lot and started to put the first steps towards his big dream. Jeff has changed the conception of the internet and has managed to take down any enemy. Moreover, this is not his only business. Other business and expenses. His passion for space allowed him to found Blue Origin, a space company that wants to make the idea of space tourism a reality. Blue Origin has a turnover of about $977 million and employs more than 3,500 people, and is direct competitor to SpaceX, founded in 2002 by Elon Musk, and Virgin Galactic, an aerospace company founded in 2004 by tycoon Richard Branson, which made its first suborbital trip on July 11, 2021. Jeff Bezos has purchased to date a famous newspaper, the famous Washington Post, for $250 million. For a mere $42 million he got himself a clock. Obviously not an ordinary clock, but the legendary, the clock of the long now, that will run for the next 10,000 years. Bezos invests some of his wealth in other businesses. In recent years he has financed a blown glass company, another vertical farming company, substantial funding to the Princeton Neuroscience Institute where brain functioning is studied, and, few know, he was also among Google's first shareholders. Back in 1998 he invested $250,000 in the search engine, and today he owns millions of shares. With $14 billion he bought Whole Foods Market, an American supermarket chain famous for fresh produce. For only $1 billion he took over PillPack, an online pharmacy. But Bezos also invests in many social political causes, such as same-sex marriage, support for education, and many other donations that are impossible to list and quantify. But let's return to Bezos and the way he spends the large amount of money in his estate. Investments, donations, and purchases aside, obviously Bezos owns several houses around the world. His most famous house, however, is the one in Washington, 2,500 square feet, 25 bathrooms, worth about $23 million. And he travels a lot. Needless to say, he owns a private jet worth $75 million and allows himself bizarre vacations with his family, such as one to Norway in an ice hotel, extremely expensive for us mere mortals, but literally cheap for his wallet. Conclusion: but we will definitely talk about that in a future video. We have come to the end of this video. I hope you enjoyed the video. I decided to bring such content to spur young people to believe in their own potential. If you would like to see a video above some other person who broke any record and became a billionaire from nothing, please write it below in the comments. I invite you to leave a like and subscribe to support the channel. See you in the next video.